Hello, calling all CHROs to the Midwest Momentum Roundtable CHRO Forum. Today is an information session to talk about what this forum is all about. I'm Steve Kopecki. I have 25 years of senior leadership and executive advisory experience. I've also got 11 years in the U.S. Navy, and I've lived in conflict environments with lots of things going on, lots of stress, both in the corporate world, but also in the military world. I am a husband and a father of three. If that doesn't describe conflict and pressure, I don't know what does. I'm a father of three. The oldest is 16 years old, so I have a lot to learn as well, and I think I need to join a peer advisory parent group. But let's get to today's topic. CHRO Roundtable. There are a number of people that have expressed interest in being part of the next CHRO Roundtable. Here's the titles and the organizations that they come from. And as you can see, there's some pretty exciting individuals from companies that range in size from small, medium to large. Also different types of industries and different types of setups, whether it's private equity or venture capital, financial services, manufacturing, public, private, a very interesting mix of individuals. And you could be part of that as the next roundtable is starting to fill up. We have a couple of open spots yet. All right. If you have never been part of a roundtable, this is where it came from. This is what it's all about. You can go all the way back to those that have seen the movie King Arthur and the Round Table and the knights. Once they were part of the round table and they were meeting, they were all peers. And they were providing solutions to problems that they had in the day. It was a creative session where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 3. And that's really the premise of the round table. It's also a group of camaraderie. Now, what I mean by that, being a military person, I've never found the level of camaraderie that I experienced in the Navy. However, the peer group format does develop that level of camaraderie. It's reduced, it's removed from the business world with real live problems to solve, but we're all in this together, kind of like in Wisconsin during a snowstorm. So things started out way back then, and you can see by the summary, I won't go over everything here. Napoleon Hill, great book, Think and Grow Rich. It's a business book that has served over time, and it's still something to reference today. Really focuses a lot around peer networks and problem-solving networks through a more formalized approach. Today, and starting with the YPO, Young Presidents Organization, and Young Presidents, forming confidential peer advisory groups where they could work through issues that they hadn't experienced before away from their business. That's the modern sort of peer advisory format that you'll find in business. So additionally, all of these forums are today certainly focused on leadership under pressure and really how we respond to pressure. It provides you with an outlet to work through that pressure. The pressure that comes from growth, from challenges around talent and finding talent and retaining the best talent, focusing the best talent on the right things, complexity and reducing complexity in businesses, and working with leaders, P&L leaders, as well as the functional leadership. So they work together and figuring out ways to do that with the business growing rapidly. Leadership today operates under constant pressure, yet many leaders have very few places where they can speak candidly and share improvement strategies. One of the ways that I differentiate the roundtables that I offer or the forums is I bring to the group as a facilitator a framework. And I like working with frameworks, not only frameworks, but playbooks, because it provides with everyone with flexibility. We don't have to use this framework. It's just a framework that we can leverage as we move forward, and we might be stuck as a peer group. That doesn't happen often because there's usually somebody that's experienced an issue that another person has, and they're trying to work through in the forum, and that's what makes it so powerful. But I bring to you a simple framework based on foundation-related issues, simplification or ways to weed the garden of your business, to focus on where the real value is, so you can design the structure and coach leadership to be able to coach others, to grow the business, quite frankly. There's also a process for continuous improvement that I call ARC at Compass. ARC stands for Analyze the Situation, Refine It, and Commit. And the only other thing that I bring out right now is under Found, there's a part called Developmental Fitness. And that's really the way we're wired. So I bring to you a framework that can address and work through those types of issues as you move forward with growth in your business. Because I set things up off of frameworks, this forum is really your forum if you choose to be a member of it. So you design how it works, how often the forum meets, what days of the week it meets, how long it meets for, what sort of roles you want to have in the forum. Do you want to bring in some guest speakers? Those are all things that are decided by the forum membership. The composition, what types of experiences of the members would you like? As you saw earlier, some pretty excellent people, pretty talented people that are part of this particular forum that's forming. If you are fully committed to attending, it's all about what meeting schedule would make that possible and what structure would make sense for you. And that's what the framework is all about. It gives you the freedom to design that. Here's an example of an executive forum that I've worked with in the past. It's pretty traditional. It starts with what day of the week they wanted to meet, how often they wanted to meet, once a month, and how long, 3 hours. The participants also had some guidelines as to how much work they would be required to do in between sessions besides their normal job. And they may be working on things related to what they discussed in the forum, but they didn't have to prepare more than 30 or 60 minutes in between to get ready for the next forum. I also offered to individuals individual coaching at no additional cost and put together a few individual coaching plans for those individuals. That was all part of the same pricing per individual. The design philosophy, the cadence reflected the traditional executive forum structure. The design philosophy was really around the common forum structure. It wasn't a prepackaged program. It was peer-led, supported by myself as a facilitator. The cost was $650, and I would bill them every 6 months for that. So that's basically how the forum was set up. The next CHRO forum has already started to take shape, and it is focusing on the third Friday of every month. It's a 3-hour session and consistent monthly cadence with virtual meetings because some of the membership is not from this area. The same participation as we had just went over, preps in between. It's peer-led, it's an advisory-led forum, and there's integrated individual coaching when necessary. I've also put into the whole program a guest speaker could be brought in at times based on the desires of the group. It's scheduled to begin on April 17th at 12 p.m. And if, in fact, you become a member of this particular group, you would receive a Zoom link to that. So the next step in order to get into that particular CHRO forum would be to use the barcode on this page. And from that, you can schedule some time with me and we can go from there. Okay, so some slots that are available, and you can see that there's a very high level of individual that's being part of, that's committed to being part of this group. So I'm looking forward to potentially including you in this next session. It starts in 2 weeks. So you'd have to use the barcode, set up some time, have a short discussion with me, and I'll send you the link. So I look forward to potentially having you part of this next forum. Thank you, and have yourself a great rest of your day.